Is glycerol powder BS? Welcome back to another part of our supplement education series where we look at supplements and supplement ingredients, some of the claims out there about them, and we see what the research literature has to say about it. This one's going to be a little bit different. Somebody had specifically asked me about a supplement that had this glycerol ingredient, so we're going to read through these specific claims that we see here and look at the citations below it. Apologies if I butcher the pronunciation here, but Glycomax or Glycomax. First scientifically proven performance-enhancing drink on the market used by elite athletes for maximum performance. Formula is tailored to increase concentration, time to exhaustion, and hydration, and claims to be blood sugar stabilizing, so you stay energized and focused for long periods of exertion. Success of Glycomax is tested and published scientific research, specifically formulated for the requirements of different sports. And then we see this graph here and this reference. Of course, there's not enough information presented here to actually read this graph, but when we look at the study eventually, you'll see we have sedentary and exercise groups, and half of them took a glycerol supplement and half of them did not. So we hop on down to that study, the effect of glycerol supplements on aerobic and anaerobic performance of athletes and sedentary subjects. 40 subjects in this study, half of which were soccer players and half of which were identified as sedentary. Average age being low 20s, so young adults. And half of each group either consumed just water or glycerol and water. And they did this for 20 days. The sedentary group just consumed that, didn't do anything else. And the exercise group ran a shuttle run test every single day. The shuttle run test they used was what we also call the BEEP test, and it's a good measure of aerobic performance. And they did a Wingate test to measure anaerobic power. There's then a series of confusing tables using lettered row and column systems to denote significance. And if you remember this table, here it is in the actual article. You'll notice there's no markings of significance here, but if we go back through and hunt for it, we'll see that all three of these groups saw significant improvements, but the glycerol exercise group did not see any relative greater improvement than the just exercise group. If you're exercising, this graph shows you do not see a greater improvement in relative anaerobic power from taking glycerol. So that should be what the authors say, right? It is clear glycerol has an increasing effect on anaerobic power because the sedentary and exercise glycerol groups were given glycerol. This statement is extremely misleading because the glycerol group started off higher before the study itself. There's not a significant difference in the amount of change that they saw. Here, they can't even bring themselves to say that it's actually because of glycerol. They say it may be due to the effects. This statement right here is the exact opposite of what that showed. So is it BS? Well, these claims are definitely not supported by this reference. Now, there's other research supporting hydrating effects of glycerol, especially when exercising in extreme heat, but that is not what that research was about.